Hello, 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 beautiful souls. A new week. Happy Monday. I invited a beautiful client to join us today. She's here already. I'm gonna invite you in just now, Victoria. Before I'm gonna do that, I just wanna unpack a little bit more about the importance of activating and embodying more of our soul codex, because each and every one of us came with a very powerful blueprint and codex, specific soul codes unique to you. And yeah, our oversoul network is it's so big because we all had so many lifetimes on Earth, but we all also had so many lifetimes on other planets. And depending on what you have chosen for this specific lifetime, you came with specific codes that are supporting you in your soul mission, that are supporting you in this beautiful earthbound journey. And the more as we are on this ascension journey and descending back into our bodies, the more of these codes will be activating. And this is also why some of you perhaps are starting to feel more and more to really follow your purpose, right? There's a lot of people talking and sharing about purpose. And what is the purpose? What is the purpose of being here? What is the purpose of life? What is your purpose here on Earth? And that's the journey we are taking, because we forgot the moment that we arrived here. We forgot. That's one of the rules of this play, of this movie, of this Earth adventure, that we wrote our own scripts, we chose our own lessons, we chose our own soul contracts with other beautiful souls, and then the moment that we landed here on this planet, we completely forgot. So the journey that more and more and more people are taking is the ascension journey, is the evolution, is the personal growth journey, remembering who you truly are, and with that, remembering your blueprints. And from my own experience, is once we activate that and we activate the deeper meaning, and we're starting to feel really deeply rooted within our body, within ourselves, as an inner knowing what we are here to give to this world, to humanity, to the plant kingdom, to the animal kingdom. Life is becoming so much more beautiful, because every step that we are taking, it's from the heart. It's having a bigger vision, a bigger purpose. It's according to the mission that you feel, this deeply, deeply imprinted mission. And a lot of my work that I'm doing is around activating more of your unique soul codes and your codex in the remembrance, as we are releasing the old and imprinted false codes, slave codes, limiting beliefs, fears. It will surface more and more your codes, and they are unique to you, and at the same time they are not, because we are all sharing similar codes. And we are all connected in that sense. But some of us are more anchored and activated in certain codes. And that's what you are gifting in this world right now. And for today, like I mentioned at the beginning, I invited Victoria to share a little bit. Victoria, I'm going to invite you in. Let me see if I can still do that. This Rising Collective last year. And we have been on a beautiful journey for the past couple of months together. Let me see if this is working. So are you receiving a message, Victoria? Because when I click on accept, nothing is happening. Technology, right? Always fun. No? I don't know what's happening when someone joins. So when I click on accept, nothing is happening. So I invited you again. Let's see if it's working now. No. Is unable to join. Why is that?
Oh, around. Ah, there we go. Hi.
Yeah.
I'm on a walk.
Hello.
Yeah. It's so beautiful
Yay.
out today. It stopped raining, and so I was like, I gotta go outside. Yeah.
Yes.
I'll move up the road a little so I'm
Beautiful.
off the main street. Ah, pardon
So where are you
me?
tuning in from?
I
Where
am
are you
in
tuning in
North
from at the moment?
Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Yeah.
Yay. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah,
Thank
welcome,
you.
Victoria. And I actually would like to ask you to introduce
Okay.
yourself.
I am Victoria. Hi everybody. So nice to be here. Thank you, Nishanti, for this moment with you. And I was in Nishanti's Goddess Rising Collective. I guess you can call it a program or container for the past 6 months. And I finished my journey with her, and I'm a transformed woman. That is my story. I can share more as you ask questions, but are you getting feedback on your end, or is
Yes,
it
yes.
okay? Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It's working. Yeah. So just a little bit more like about what are you doing? Like who are you?
I am many things. I'm a multidimensional being, and I've woken up to my service, to my purpose. And so the most recent lifetime that I remember, not most recent, the most prominent lifetime that I remember is my lifetime in Lemuria. And so Lemuria is, you speaking about blueprint. And to me, to my understanding, Lemuria is the blueprint of the golden age that we are all moving into, that we're evolving into. And so Lemuria, what does it mean? It means that it's a time before confusion. So, we've all been asleep and confused and not knowing who we are and unsure about what this life is all about. And we're starting to wake up and remember. And so as we remember, we come back to this moment before confusion, which is known as Lemuria, where we are completely connected and we know what our purposes are, and we are in divine alignment with the earth and with the cosmos. And so I'm waking up to remember myself as a Lemurian being and what my purpose is. And more recently, I got to go on the first mission of working with the energy ley lines of the planet to reset the frequencies so that we can all enter this golden age that we're all excited about being in. So that was a huge mission and something that I don't know if I would have done if it wasn't for the Goddess Rising Collective. yeah, and we can talk more about that, but that's what I've woken up to.
Yes, yes, beautiful. Yeah, that's been beautiful to be witnessing you in that journey. And yeah, tell us more about the trip, because you mentioned
Yeah.
like let's just dive in immediately there and go with the flow. Like if it weren't for these 6 months together or 7 months together, you don't know if you would
Mhm.
have gone on that trip. Why is that? What has been the transformation for you to be able to make that decision
Thank
to
you. Yeah.
actually go?
Yeah, it's so funny. As I was on my walk this morning, I was like, it feels so big for me. Like even explaining this is really big, because it's difficult for me to put into English language. But basically, uh, my mission on this planet is to support the planet in aligning its frequency to Lemuria. And so what we do is we go to different energy points on the planet and we reset the frequencies using specific ceremonial practices that are Lemurian. And so I work with an indigenous Maori man to, and a whole bunch of people that come along for the journeys to activate different energy centers and stargates. And this is a totally new language to me. I mean, I'm an earth being. I've been living on this planet and living the normal life of working and doing the normal human thing. And so what I'm doing now, it's not normal and it's so different. um, Even speaking to people and sharing with people what I do and saying I work with energy lines and I reset stargates, it's like, what are you saying? And so that's what I'm waking up to, is what am I saying? And so I had to clear the way. So the Goddess Rising Collective and your work and the journeys that, the different healing sessions that you and I went on together, I was clearing the way, clearing my humanness, clearing my own confusion and my own distortion out of the way so that I can remember, so that I can remember what I'm doing, that I can remember what my mission is. And it feels like it's been hiding behind so much, so many masks. Right? I've been wearing so many masks of who I thought I was. I'm Victoria. I'm a human being. I live on this planet. I work. I went to school. I went to work. I got an education, and that's all I was supposed to do. And that is like the furthest thing from the truth. And so I had to delete all of those false ideas of who I was and come into a deeper connection with who I truly am to be able to do this work. Yeah, so I think that answers your question. All of our sessions together was deleting all of my false personas, the false codes that you talk about, like my false personalities and my false ideas of who I thought I was. And so that was huge, because without that, like I said, I wouldn't have gone. It was such a big leap to go from being a human to then working with stargates. It's such a huge leap. And I had to delete everything in the way to be able to take that leap and to even know what I was up to. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, thank you for sharing. So basically, like how I would refer to the work that you're doing is you're doing grid work, which is very important, and more like earth seeds and star seeds are waking up to doing the grid work as we travel and being called to
Mm-hmm.
specific portals, right? And you doing that with a very specific codex and library of light, which is the Lemurian one. So yeah, it's amazing. And if you would have to go back to, let's say, 6-7 months ago, we started in September, I believe. How yeah, who were you then? Because right now you are a complete different version, and of course we are multidimensional beings. But yeah, what was your state of being and body, mind, and soul prior to the journey, and what made you decide to, like,
Ah,
okay,
thank you.
let's
It's
do
gonna make me
this?
cry because it's so cool to look back at myself. Um, I knew, like my intuition was always guiding me to what I'm doing right now, but there was a lot of fear and a lot of uncertainty within myself. I had a lot of uncertainty. And I was like, really? I'm supposed to go on this mission? Like, this is crazy and this is scary. And I don't know, like, I was in a state of being so concerned about what other people thought about me, being so concerned with making sense to the regular people, even my family, to everybody around me, that it was really scary to take that leap to be able to do this work. And so that's who I was. I was like very much in chaos, I would say, because I knew what I had to do, but I was holding myself back so that I could fit in with this life. And I was like, no, I'd rather just fit in and stay kind of sleepy, like sort of half awake, you know. I'll just stay sort of half asleep and half awake because it's more comfortable and it's easier. Because like I already have to stretch my comfort zone to get to this point of doing this work. So that's who I was. I was in a bit of chaos and I was feeling ungrounded. I was really scared. I knew what I needed to do, but I just didn't know how to do it. And yeah, it's just been a process of continually stepping into that fear, like continually stepping into this breaking free of different comfort zones, and it continually happens. It's still happening. But the work with you supported me because you were just so, you could see what my potential and where I was going, and because you saw that, it gave me the permission almost to keep going in that direction. And so, yeah, like that's what I say. Without you, without the Goddess Rising Collective, I don't know if I would have done it, because you are the only person in my life, that has been like, yes, keep going, go, do it. This is what you're meant to do. Keep going. And yeah, if it wasn't for your encouragement and that permission, I would probably still be where I was.
Wow, thank you, thank you. And that's so powerful, right? To have a support, yeah, network, community, or even if it's just one person that sees the bigger picture and that keeps cheering you on, even though you can see it at times and you feel it in your body. It's that journey towards it, which can be very challenging because the mind pops up and yeah, our environment can come around the corner and have things to say as well. So thank you also for walking the talk and keep going. You continue to go, and you really moved through the discomfort and walked through the fire with so much grace at times, because it wasn't always easy. And as you were working towards certain, how would I say this, and like ownership of your stage by, for example, sharing a specific codex, a 3-day or 3-series codex that you shared whilst you were in the Goddess Rising Collective, like your quantum team and your Lemurian Council of Light also started to prepare you in the weeks prior to that, right? Can you describe a little bit about that, how that was unfolding, and also the support of the collective in that? Because for you, it was at times maybe a little bit new, and how that was like, yeah, like anchoring into this physicality, right? So
Yeah,
how has that experience
thank you.
been for you?
So just to give a bit of background, Nishanthi gave us the opportunity to step forward and start sharing what we're meant to share. And so for anyone who doesn't understand what a codex is, it's like, what are we here to share? And it can be called a codex. It's got codes in it, codes of information that we're sharing with everybody. And so I knew that I was meant to share the Lemurian operating system, which is a system that supports us in transitioning from this old way of being, from the way that we're used to, and transitioning into the new earth. And so there's a specific, there's specific codes and there's specific information to work with to help us in the transition. And so, yeah, Nishanthi encouraged me to bring that forward and to start sharing it. And I wanted to, but I was really scared. But to have this container, this safe space to be able to do it in was like, okay, this is the time. I've got to do it. And so, yeah, I like went full on into it. Like, I got this, and that's my personality. Like, let's just go. And then as soon as it came to getting really close to the date, the first one, I was like, no, this is too much. It's too scary. Like, how am I supposed to share this with people? Are they even going to understand what I'm saying? Like, do I even understand what I'm saying? And so, like what you said, the Lemurian Council of Light and my whole team was supporting me in releasing that fear. And that's what you helped me with so much, was that when these fears came up and when that feeling came up where I was like, can I do this? You were like, congratulations, that's what you're purging. And so it was always like, oh, that's not stopping me. It's actually coming out of me and being released to make way for me to be able to actually share. And so that's what happened every time. I did a 3-part series, and every time right before I was due to present it, I would have this moment, and the Shanti would just gently guide me and celebrate me and be like, yes, this is what's meant to happen. And so it didn't stop me. It didn't stop me from moving forward, because it was like, oh, this is okay. This is what's meant to happen. So without that encouragement, again, I don't know if I would have done it, because I would have probably let that block me from moving forward.
Mm. Yes, yes, thank you. And on that, that's something I'm seeing a lot in the field. I'm witnessing in the collective, like the moments when we decide to really embody a codex or a purpose or a specific journey that we channeled to share with the world. It's like we're going to be prepared for that, or family of light, or guides, or quantum team, or councils, however you are co-creating, your angels, they're going to work with you in the non-physical to also prepare you in your highest alignment to share these codes with humanity and with your specific soul tribe. And what I'm seeing and what I've been witnessing is when that happens, we all, including myself, are going into a contraction. We're going into a little bit of a void. We're going into fears and limiting belief, because what happened is we hit a glass ceiling, right? And we are actually quantum leaping out of it. We are quantum leaping out of a comfort zone. And what you have been sharing is that, yeah, most of the time we kind of stay there and we do not loop out of it. And it's by receiving the support, you yourself actually started to trust your body and the language of your body, and allowing your body to lead you, and trust your nervous system. And you already knew very well how to calm your nervous system, how you can navigate this, so that you yourself now set yourself up to, like, when it surfaces, when you're doing something again, that you can navigate it, right? So I want to loop back from that, and we will go maybe a little bit back and forwards to your beautiful travel journey, because there was again quite a contraction, right? Prior to you leaving the country, and this was a very big mission that you were on. Yeah, would you like to elaborate a little bit on that?
Thank you. Yeah, it's like you said, every time you take a step out of, it doesn't stop, it just keeps going, right? Every time we are going to do something new, that's completely new, and also your soul purpose, it brings up all the stuff, all the fear has to be released in order to step into that new state of being. And so, yeah. Oh my gosh, little did I know how challenging this trip would be. And what I've learned now, so I went on a trip just recently. I went to first to Mexico to meet my teacher there. I work with an indigenous Maori man who lives in Playa del Carmen. His name is Mauta Tatif. And I went there first to meet him, and then we all went to England, to Cornwall, to work on a specific ley line, the Michael Mary ley line. And we were actually there to undo the false matrices and the distortion that religions had placed in that ley line, which were infiltrating the planet. And so that distortion was making us all feel like we were threats. We've been threatening to each other, threatening to ourselves. And so it's kept us all in the state of fear and like staying inward, because we're afraid of being ourselves, because we're threatening. And which is completely opposite from the truth. We're here to undo the threat. And so basically I was working with a lot of energies that didn't want us to undo this energy, because it's been, it's like part of ourselves. When we step out of our own egos, our ego doesn't want us to step out of it, because it's used to being there. And so it kind of has a little bit of a fight. It kicks and screams. It's like, no, don't let me go. And that's exactly what I was facing within my own energy, within my own comfort zone. It was like, no, you got to stay here. And then I was also dealing with the energies of what we were releasing on the planet. And so it was a double whammy of a lot of fear came up for me. I had so much fear like mistrust coming up, a lot of mistrust, like how can I trust this? How can I trust anybody right now? Um, how can I can't go. Like I almost didn't get on the plane. I was shaking and I had a panic attack. I was the last person on the plane. Um, and I've never done that before. I was 10 minutes after everybody. Like I was wanting to not get on that plane. The energies didn't want me to get on that plane, and my ego certainly didn't want me to get on the plane, because that part of me knew that it was dying in a sense, right? It no longer has a place within me. And yeah, so each time we step out of our comfort zone and expand more into what we're here to do, that little part of us that's in control, the small little ego part, is like, no, don't do it. And so that was really loud. It was really, really loud this time and super scary. But the gifting from it is that I was able to step through that fear. And, thanks to what I had learned from you and the Goddess Rising Collective, I had learned that this was just a natural part of the journey. And so I was able to get myself on the plane despite the feelings. And now the strength that I've got and the feeling of like, wow, I'm strong and I'm courageous. Like I actually made this happen, has been really, really huge. So, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you. Yeah. And these are big quantum leaps, right? These are big steps, and we often underestimate what that's doing to our human and our body, because it's all our layers that require to shift with us when we're taking a leap like that. It's literally our mental body, our physical body, our energetic body, like all the layers. And that's why it can feel so overwhelming, because everything is being pushed to the surface at once. And yeah, I'm just celebrating you so hard for stepping on the plane and moving again with grace, even though it doesn't feel like grace all the time when we're in it, but doing it anyway. It's the fear, feeling the fear and doing it anyway. And I'm celebrating you for that. Yeah, and for the work that you're doing. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So if you would have to describe like a session, a private session, so not necessarily the group session, but a private session, how would you describe that? Also, because we worked with light language and your light language was activated in a deeper sense during the sessions. How was that experience for you, that weaving together?
Yeah, each session was so unique. And it's amazing. I mean, Nishanthi has a real gift for being able to feel what's truly happening underneath the surface. I think you feel and see. Do you see as well? Yeah. So Nishanthi's got,
Yes.
I mean, her gifts are fully open. And so she sees and feels what's happening within you that needs to be released and what's looking to be released. And so in each session, I would show up in a certain way, and I had no idea we'd be going down some of these roads of release, but you would know exactly what needed to be released in that moment for me to be able to step forward into who I was becoming each time. And so with the light language piece, I didn't realize how important light language was for me. I've been speaking it here and there and just kind of playing with it, but I didn't realize how important it was for me as a tool to release energy so that I could, just release energy from my body. And so each time you would say, does anything want to be said? And encourage me to speak. And as soon as I did, as soon as I started sharing this language, I would feel a complete transformation. The energy that was stuck within me, the old maybe limiting beliefs or stories that I was holding on to, would be moved and released. And then oftentimes I'd go into a spontaneous movement or dance, which you encouraged and supported. So it was very much about embodiment and coming back home into my own body and learning how to use my body as a tool, my body and my voice as a tool to transform and release energy. And energy that I didn't even know that was there to be released, because you had this gift of being able to see it and feel it. Yeah, amazing. It's hard to describe, but the amount of patterns in 6 months, the amount of stories and limiting beliefs and false ideas about myself that have been released has been huge. And for me to be able to step into and own the codex that I'm here to share. Yeah, I hope that answers that okay.
Yes, thank you, thank you. Let me just feel. Yeah, so what I would like to elaborate on that is that during these type of sessions, for me, it's always very important for you to fully step into your power, for you to activate your own language, for you to activate the movements within your body, because it's different. Like when I would do the light language, which I often also would do, but that's a different level of embodiment, because then you're only on the receiving end. So I will always my intention is to guide in a way that you really embody it and release it and alchemize and transcend it yourself as well in the guidance and in the support, because for me that's really where we can anchor in these new timelines, because that's where we're taking all layers with us, all bodies with us. Do you have anything to add on that?
Just
maybe?
what you said about getting us to do it ourselves. Absolutely. There's such an empowerment piece to that, because it's not you doing it for me, it's me doing it for myself. And so with that comes a really deep level of intimacy, really, with my own body and my own body's abilities, as well as a deep, much more like a deeper trust within myself, because I can carry myself through whatever I was going through. And you would hold space and ask questions or say certain things or celebrate me when I was moving the energy and encourage me. But you never took it from me. You never took it to do it for me. You always were encouraging me to do it for myself. And so, yeah, that's huge. I would say that's probably the biggest thing, to be honest, like how all of those patterns were able to be released was because I was doing it myself with your guidance. If you had done it for me, I don't think I would have this level of trust within myself and within my ability to move myself through what I've been moving through.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, for me, that's a really important aspect, because that for me is really gifting everyone the power back, because you hold the power, you hold the strength, you hold the light. You are very capable. Every one of you is very capable of doing the work yourself. And this is also where we truly embody. And the only way, in my perception and my belief and my knowing, that we really can quantum leap and an embodied way to shift into a new timeline without like constantly going back and forward. And then we still at times going back and forward, because there's always, like you also mentioned, there's always a new layer, there's always a new depth, there's always something new that can be cleared. So the journey itself, how has it impacted your relationships with your loved ones?
Well, that's interesting you asked that question, because I just came back from a family dinner last night, and I was really nervous to be there because I've transformed so much, and I've got had the story, it's no longer there, that they don't understand me. And really, I've come to understand that was because I was making that story. I was making the story that I was a threat to my family, and that me being different was uncomfortable for them. And so I released that. During this journey. And yeah, we had the best dinner ever. It was so comfortable. It was so easy. And I don't need them to know every detail about what I'm doing, but just to be with them. And I recognize that they're actually I guess this journey has taught me that my family they're my team. Like we're not the same and we're very different, but we came here specifically together to activate one another. And so we're working for each other and with each other. Yeah.
Yes. That's beautiful. I love that. Yes, beautiful. And in terms of other relationships in your life, have you felt any changes
all
there?
My relations, every single relationship, I'm more comfortable because I'm grounded in myself. I feel safer in my own body because I'm owning who I am now. It's not like I'm not hiding from myself anymore. And so because of that, I'm more fully embodying me. And because of that, I feel more comfortable and safe. And then I can just be with anybody and I don't have to hide. And that's the biggest thing. I'm not hiding
Yes.
anymore. And yeah, and that just brings comfort and safety. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes, I love that. Yes, thank you. Hmm. In the journey itself, like we were with more women
Mm-hmm.
in the container, how was that for you to also be witnessed at times in your vulnerability, within a collective group? Because we are going deep even when the group sessions are there. We still are going deep at times, and I always ask permission if one wants to play in that specific moment, but it's still at times facing quite some discomfort of uncomfortable things whilst being witnessed by more people than just me. um, how has that expanded your field, and how was that to
Yeah, thank you.
experience in that way?
And I think it's all again related to hiding, like not hiding. And so when you're in front of a group of people, first of all, the container was so safe and set in such a way that I felt comfortable to show up fully. And no matter what I was feeling, I mean, some days I was breaking down. Some days I was like, what are we doing, you guys? This is crazy. Like, I think one day I said to everybody, are we all nuts? Like, I think we're just all crazy. Maybe we're just all making this up. Like, this is just nuts. And that was such a relief to be able to share that honestly in front of a whole bunch of people and not be hiding it. And so that's what I mean by the hiding piece is like every time you got us to share with one another and in front of each other, it's like that aspect of me is no longer hiding and then playing in the background and making a mess of my life. And so I got to be seen in every way. Like I said, I got to be seen in my shining way, but then I also got to be seen in my like super shriveled up, scared way. And that's liberating, because then I'm not hiding those parts of myself. And I think that that's the biggest thing is not hiding creates freedom, because it's like only if I'm hiding am I making a
Yes.
mess of my life and making a mess of my relationships. So yeah, it was scary, but it was also liberating. Mhm.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What has been your biggest, your biggest takeaway? Like if you would look back at the past 6 months, what would be the biggest piece for you personally? Like a significant change within your body or your environment, within your work, and how you co-create and how you weave magic.
Well,
Yeah.
the first thing is not to do with how I weave magic, but it's to do with discomfort. That discomfort is not a bad thing. And in fact, discomfort means growth.
Mm.
And whew, it's going to make me cry. Growth doesn't always come easily. It can be really freaking challenging. And, there's this idea in my mind that it's all going to be roses and like you keep posting rainbows and unicorns. And I find that the biggest growth that I had with you in this journey were the most challenging times and the times that I was even projecting onto you. And I think that's really important to mention because this happens, when I'm working with a teacher like you, when I'm working with someone who's supporting my growth, I project my stuff onto that person so that I can see it. And you held such amazing space for me when I was projecting my own stuff onto you. And I think my biggest growth from that is that I'm allowed to do that. Like, and you provided a safe container for me to be able to do that guilt-free, even though some of it was like, whoa, I can't believe I'm doing this right now. Like, whoa, some of the stuff I projected onto Shanti, holy moly, she's a strong woman. Really, really, really strong to be able to stand there in the face of my stuff. So yeah, I want to speak to that because it was uncomfortable. It was really uncomfortable to show that side of myself, to put my shadow onto you and to make you out to be the villain or whatever it is is so vulnerable to do that to someone. And you made it safe. You know, you made that safe for me to do so that I could see that aspect of myself. You didn't get mad at me and then that would have shut the whole thing down, right? And then I wouldn't have been able to see me. But you held me. And so I got to see those parts of myself that were like some of the darkest parts of me. And so I just want to speak to these things can be uncomfortable, and the person that you're working with, it can be really uncomfortable. But if anyone's considering working with Nishanti, she's amazing at holding you and holding that discomfort, and just, you're a rock star, honestly. It's like,
Thank
yeah,
you.
that was an important piece to share. So
Yeah.
how is that moving forward? I mean, that's huge in terms of safety. Like it's just safe to be all of me. And in that's given me this confidence in life that like life isn't here to hurt me. It's not here to make me bad or wrong or feel ashamed of who I am. Like I'm on this journey of letting go of those parts of me that have been hiding, and it's safe to do that. Yeah. And so that's given me a tremendous amount of grounding. Like I feel more grounded because of that. I feel safer to be on this planet because of that. And more confident to share what I'm sharing.
Yes. Yes. Yes, because like a lot have shifted in terms of your vocal expression by embodying your purpose, right? And that has been in a full embodied way and throughout all your body. So in the feeling and the safety, as you mentioned, but also in vocalizing and talking about your mission and sharing about your mission, even though like I think at the beginning you said like for it's not normal, but this is the new normal. For me, it's normal. So to also normalize that for yourself, so that it actually, yes, it's big, but at the same time we're taking the bigness out of it because we're making it the norm. Because this is who you are.
Yeah.
This is what you're doing.
Thank you. I needed to hear that today. See,
Yeah.
she just knows what to say. I needed to hear that today. On my walk, I was like, but it's so big. And it is normal. This is just what I do. And so, yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah. I just feel like I just decided to flow in how the conversation or chat was going today. If there's anything else that wants to be, wants to be heard, wants to be seen. Yeah, I feel like and that's the like the close of question perhaps is like who like the shift in if you hadn't joined the container, like how would life look like, and how does life look like right now, and how does your body feel, and how does your human feel, how does your soul feel in this now moment?
My soul feels deep peace. Like I've been running around at the beginning of this container and through a lot of it, I was feeling like I was rushing and running and trying so hard to know what I was here to do, and doing things that I thought that I was here to do because they were more normal in a sense in my viewpoint. And so I was really, again, like I opened up a healing practice, which I still do my healing and I love it, but I was in a clinic space and trying to do the normal thing, have a clinic. And I was like, what am I doing? I'm doing the same thing, but just in a different way. And it was stifling me. I was like all contracted and like, what am I doing here? And then my offerings, the other offerings that I offer, those are easy for me, like breath work and sound healing. I love those things and they're really easy for me, and I really enjoy sitting in circle and it's got so much value to it. But again, I was like not feeling fully satisfied because there was something greater. And so now that I've stepped into that something greater, which is the grid work, which is working with the planet and the ley lines and the stargates, I feel this deep sense of peace like I've never felt in my life. My purpose is being fulfilled, and I'm no longer running and trying to find the thing and feeling that chaos. I'm just like grounded, and I'm here and I'm present, and I feel so much trust in life. Like, I just know that life is supporting me because I'm doing this mission. Like I actually had a moment yesterday with a tree. A tree spoke to me and thanked me on behalf of nature. Said thank you for doing what you're doing. And yeah, so I feel deeply fulfilled and at peace. Is that all you asked? Yeah, I think so.
Kind of, yeah, kind of. Thank you for sharing. And yeah, do you have also like enough clarity to now continue the journey? I mean, there will be moments in time that there is no clarity because we all will be in the void again. That's part of the journey. But like, did the container set you up in a way to navigate these moments with much more grace and flow and ease? Yeah, to also continue to follow this mission, even when at times it doesn't feel that peaceful in your body or in your
Yeah.
in
Oh,
your
yeah. That's a
surroundings.
big one. Thank you for bringing that back. Yes, I feel equipped. There was this tendency for me to want to run in those moments, to run away when it got uncomfortable. And now I don't run anymore. I stay. And so I stay with the feelings. I allow them, and I'm like, okay, well, we're just in this space again, and I don't need to run. I don't need to hide from it. So yes, absolutely, I feel equipped because I went through it. I got to see, because of the length of the container, I got to see my cycles. I got to see myself getting scared, like excited, really excited, and then scared, withdraw, and want to run. And I saw it so many times playing out that I was like, oh, this is a pattern. And so, yeah, because I have that awareness now, I feel really equipped. Yeah.
Yes, yes, thank you. This
Mm-hmm.
was the piece that still wanted to be, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
heard and seen. Thank you so much. Also, thank you for jumping live and sharing a little bit more about your experience and the beautiful work you are doing and how you are serving the planet and humanity. Yeah, I love it. And it was such an honor to be co-creating with you and to walk this journey together. And we had some very challenging moments. I
Mm-hmm.
want to be honest about that because it was not easy at times for myself as well. And what I really loved is that we both had the courage and the bravery to walk through it together in the discomfort and sometimes to sit through it together. And it's because of that that we arrived on the other side. And it was because, like, in that sense, both you and I kept each other
Mm-hmm.
in the highest. And I always say, like, yes, I'm holding this container, or I'm the guide or the mentor, whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't like these labels and these boxes. But I'm as much the student as I'm the teacher in those aspects, because I'm learning from you as well. And it's always this energy exchange. So I also really want to thank you for being so vulnerable and surrendering, completely surrendering at times into the unknown and trusting, really trusting and allowing me to also,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, hold the space. Because it's taking a lot to surrender in those depths, to go to the depths that I've seen and witnessed you going to. That's really, that's deep energetic work, that's priestess codes, that's goddess codes, that's
Mm-hmm.
really like, yeah, that's sacred work, that's really sacred work. So thank you as well, thank you for doing
Oh,
that. And it's gonna be a joy to continue to see your
thank
journey.
you. Yeah, it was really big what we did together. It was huge. And I exposed parts of myself that, we all have these really dark, dark aspects that have been hiding. And I definitely exposed all of those to you. more so than anyone again in my life. So thank you as well for holding me and being with me in those moments. And yeah, I said to you when I was in Mexico, I got to see Nishanthi in person, and I said, like, the work that we did together doing that, and holding each other in that darkness, holding me in that darkness, and coming through to the other side is huge, for not just for us personally, but for the collective and for the feminine. For the feminine energy that used to be really competitive and backstabbing and shut each other down. It's like we exposed all of that. It was like, oh, here it is. Like, oh, it's out on the table. Yeah, and we walked through it together. So thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It was beautiful, and it was challenging at times, but it was beautiful. I'm here for it. You are here for it. And I love to see that more and more and more beautiful souls are also here for it. And yeah, if anyone has any interest in learning more about the Goddess Rising Collective, we are starting a new term this month. It's called Code Your Stage, but it's much more about owning your stage so that you can code your stage in your highest alignments, which is obviously, for me, obvious, not for everyone, but in alignment with your body, so that you allow your body to lead you. That's where I always loop it back. It's allowing your body to lead you, and this physical body is the most advanced technology we are working with. I'm so convinced of it, and this is what this journey for me is about. It's about, if we do not descend back in our body, we cannot descend with grace, flow, and joy. I mean, that's one more thing that I actually would like to ask you before we run this up, because for me, a very important aspect of ascension is the pleasure aspect and the joy aspect, because I myself have been healing on my healing journey for a long time, and the shift from it needs to be in pain and suffering to oh, we can do this with play, with pleasure, and we can still face our shadows in the darkness, but it's a different type of feeling and energy that comes with it. Can you share a little bit more about that? And then we're gonna really end.
Yeah, definitely. How do I share about that? I feel like I couldn't push myself into it being pleasurable and playful, because, to be honest, it's freaking hard sometimes. Like, the stuff that we're moving through is like, ugh, like, whoa, this is intense. But what did shift for me was the normalization of that. So normalizing the fact that these things are happening, that every time we move past a comfort zone, there is going to be sensations of discomfort, and that we can move through them with dance and movement and all those types of things. And the more that we did it, the more that I witnessed other people going through it and myself going through it, the more it normalized the process, which makes it more pleasurable. So for me, that's what made it more pleasurable, was okay, I'm doing this on purpose. There's an actual purpose to this. It's not happening to me. It's not oh God, poor me, this is happening. It's yes, thank you. That's the pleasure. That's where that came from for me, is thank you, this is moving out of my body, and you continuing to celebrate. I loved that you used that word so much, and it was I'm celebrating you, and it was okay, I got this. And so that's how I found the pleasure, and the joy, because it's the joy of releasing that old stagnant energy that is just holding me back, the limitations that were holding me back. That's how I found the joy and the pleasure.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes, thank you. I believe that because we normalize it in a way, it's feeling less dense, it's feeling less heavy. So where we potentially could lose ourselves prior for days or weeks or even months in something, now we are able to shift it, sometimes within in a blink of an eye, sometimes by just playing a certain song and dancing and shaking it out. It's those type of things that I also refer to as bringing the pleasure aspect rather than staying in the victim and like you just mentioned, and feeling sorry for ourselves and I cannot do it. It's like that ownership, like, but I choose this, I can do this.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you. Yeah. Was there something
Did
interesting
you not
going
hear
on in the
it? It was these
background?
two birds as we were talking. They were like, I guess it's springtime, right? So it's like mating season. So they were courting each other. they were in pleasure. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you so much. I'm feeling
Mhm.
complete. Thank you again for for joining and for being here and for the journey again that we walk together. Yeah, is there anything else you would like to add before we ending this
I would
beautiful
just say, like,
transmission?
if anyone, I just highly recommend it. I highly recommend this program, and it's life changing. It is so transformative, and you owe it to yourself. It's a gift to you to be able to step forward and own yourself. You know, when you say own your stage or code your stage, it's like really owning you and owning why you came to this planet and what your mission is. And we, like you said earlier, we all have a mission. And you know, we're not here to just live life. It's like we're here to actually transform this planet from being a planet of suffering and pain and bring it back into alignment with joy and pleasure and with nature. And this container really supports you in remembering who you are and why you came here. And so if you're looking for those answers and you're questioning those things in yourself and you would like to own yourself more and know why you came, this is the place for it. Yeah. Mhm.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you so much. And yeah, wishing you a beautiful day. I keep following you and witnessing you, and
Mhm.
we stay in contact anyway. But yeah, it was absolutely lovely to do this transmission together. And yeah, I'm sending you all lots of love, everyone who's tuning in. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments. If you have any interest in either the Goddess Rising Collective or private mentorship or any other mentorships or programs that I'm currently running, reach out to me. And yeah, wishing you all a
Mhm.
beautiful day.
Thank you. Mwah. So much love.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.